My fellow Sikhs, I come to you as an Indian immigrant patriot, weaved into the tapestry of this culture, drawing from my Indian heritage and embracing the spirit of New Zealand. Today, I want to reflect on the echoes of that pivotal day in Auckland, January 31st, when voices arose in Victoria Park and along on Queen Street, each expressing layers of concern and hope in their own way. I recognize the message of Brian Tamaki and his March to Save New Zealand, that thoughtful call to safeguard faith, family, and the Kiwi essence amid subtle winds of change. From my perspective, it emerges not from racism or hatred, but from a deeper cultural resonance, a gentle determination to preserve the heritage that shapes a people, to nurture the flame of identity against the gradual blur of mass immigration. Kiwis first, faith, family, flag. These phrases serve as a quiet guardian of the soul of New Zealand. People like Tamaki and those who gathered are not simply outliers. They're symptoms of a broader underlying current in global society, where gradual shifts, economic pressures, and cultural evolutions can leave individuals feeling adrift and unheard. We must not dismiss them as merely racists or hateful. I feel that's very important. Let me repeat that. We must not dismiss them as merely racists or hateful. That overlooks the genuine complexities and valid sentiments beneath. The quiet yearning for stability in a world that changes in subtle, unknown ways. This is precisely why dialogue holds such quiet importance, not debate or dismissal, but open, empathetic conversation to explore those depths, to understand one another and weave forward together, and being open to having our minds changed. So, on that same day, the Solidarity March on Queen Street, standing alongside diverse communities against subtle forms of hate and intimidation. It offered a complementary layer, a delicate weave of threads calling for humanity and quiet protection for those who enrich our midst. I perceive these gatherings not as stark oppositions in the mist, but as interconnected flickers in the twilight. One tending to the core culture, the other nurturing an evolving mosaic. Both resonate with the global nationalist sentiment I understand intimately. Such sentiments arise not from anger, but from that innate instinct to cherish heritage in a world that's blending at an insane pace, where identities might softly fade into haze. Yet the Solidarity March whispers a reminder: preservation can coexist with inclusion, honoring all who contribute under one expansive sky and one flag. But here's where we gently build, not divide. I envision Third Culture, since I am a co-host of Third Culture Crossroads, I envision Third Culture as a subtle bridge spanning these voices, evolving into what I would call Third Culture nationalism, a fresh paradigm where nationalist pride embraces hybrid identity of those who've lived between worlds, forging a patriotism that's fluid, inclusive, and rooted in a shared evolution rather than rigid boundaries, born from lives navigated between worlds. Third Culture is not about erasure, it's about thoughtful evolution. It's the liminal space where diverse threads can softly intertwine, fostering something resilient and layered through narratives of migration and shared experiences. And through reflective dialogue, we honor the nationalist mindset by cultivating understanding. We acknowledge the cultural nuances of Tamaki's gathering, the quiet concern of what makes Kiwi identity distinct, while embracing the solidarity ethos of the March on Queen Street. Here in New Zealand, it's time to nurture a cleaner system, ensuring voices like Tamaki's and Toitū Te Aroha resonate on equal footing, free from the distortions of power. Only then can we shape a cohesive national identity, united under one flag, where one unifying narrative that embraces us all. A narrative that values our variances yet threads them into a single resilient story where every Kiwi feels quietly seen, heard, and woven into the whole. Not through rigid sameness, but through shared, subtle values, respect for the land and for one another's stories, for the silver fern that waves over cultural caretakers and empathy seekers alike. So this is not a revolution. This is not a call for a revolution. This is a call for a gentle conversation, one that rebuilds sovereignty layer by layer, blending our nuances into a shared essence. Faith, honored in its varied expressions, whether it's Christian reflections or diverse spiritualities, we integrate the cultural depth with empathetic spirits, ensuring no one fades into the mist, all under one unifying national identity, one narrative echoing our collective grace. To those who gathered at Victoria Park, your cultural reflections are heard, part of this broader harmony, not discord, but depth. To the marchers on Queen Street, your empathy resonates, adding layers to our shared weave. And to the world watching, nationalism is not seclusion. It's the quiet base for genuine bridges, enabling connection without dilution. The third culture, nationalists, the hybrids, the bridge tenders. Let's guide the way, easing corruption, threading unity through art, culture, and conversation through our shared whispers. God gently guides those who seek connection in the mist, revealing paths where shadows softly intertwined. In the end, the goal is to keep the conversation going. We cannot dismiss the other, but must come together under one New Zealand. Peace.